All right, let's talk about something that gives pretty much every homeowner a little bit of anxiety. You see a big storm rolling in, you hear the thunder, and you immediately think, oh man, I hope the basement is okay. Well, if that sounds familiar, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to get into how to keep your basement from flooding when the power decides to take a hike. You know the scene, right? The wind is just howling, rain is hammering the windows, and then flicker, flicker, boom. Everything goes dark. The power's out. Now that's a classic storm scenario, for sure, but it kicks off a really critical question. With the electricity gone, what's going to stop the water from finding its way into your house?
And that right there, well, that's the perfect storm for a basement flood. It's this super dangerous intersection of heavy rain and a power outage that leaves your number one defense system totally, completely helpless.
Okay, so at the center of all this is our hero, or potential hero, the sump pump. Its job is really simple, but it is absolutely vital. It just pumps out the groundwater that naturally collects around your home's foundation. But, and this is the big but, your standard sump pump is 100% dependent on your home's electricity to do its job.
And yeah, it really is that simple. It's a basic equation. No power equals no pump, period. So when the power cuts out during a big storm, the one time you need it more than ever, your pump just stops. It's dead in the water. You could say literally.
So a silent pump? That's just where the trouble starts. The real problem is the domino effect that happens next. And trust me, the consequences can be absolutely devastating, not just for your house, but for your bank account too.
First up, you've got water intrusion. With that pump sitting idle, there's just nothing stopping the groundwater from rising. It starts to build up, it finds every little crack in your foundation, and before you know it, it's pooling in your basement. And once the water's in, well, a much sneakier problem starts to creep in. All that standing water and dampness is the perfect recipe for mold. And it loves to grow behind walls, under the floorboards, posing a really serious long-term health risk.
And at the end of the day, it all comes down to money. We are talking about majorly expensive repairs to your foundation, replacing soaked drywall, ruined flooring, and all of your personal belongings. I mean, the average cost of a basement flood can easily get into the tens of thousands of dollars. That's a huge price to pay for one little pump failure.
Okay. Enough doom and gloom. Here's the good news. This is an entirely preventable disaster. So let's switch gears and talk about the solutions, the backup plans that can keep your basement bone dry no matter what Mother Nature throws at you.
So you basically got three main options here. First is a battery backup system. Think of it like an insurance policy. It's a whole second pump with its own battery that just automatically takes over. The only catch, you've got to maintain that battery. Second, you could use a generator. It'll power your main pump no problem, but it absolutely must be operated safely outdoors. And third, there's this really clever option, a water-powered pump. It actually uses your city water pressure to create a siphon that pulls water out. Pretty neat, but it's not a great fit for every house, and it does use a fair bit of water.
Now, picking a system is just step one. If you want to be truly prepared, you need a solid plan for maintenance, and this is the big one, for safe operation. Because let's be honest, a backup plan that doesn't work when you need it isn't really a plan at all, is it?
Here's a super simple checklist to keep you ready. A couple times a year, just test your backup system. Give all the electrical cords a quick look for any fraying or wear. If you've got a battery, check that it's charged up and healthy. And last but not least, peek into the sump pit and just clear out any rocks or gunk that could jam things up. It's really that easy.
All right, I need everyone to listen up for a second, especially if a generator is on your radar. This is, without a doubt, the most important thing we're going to cover. I'll be blunt, never, ever run a generator indoors, in your basement, or even in an attached garage. The exhaust is full of carbon monoxide, you can't see it, you can't smell it, and it can be deadly.
And these rules are not suggestions. Your safety depends on them. Always put the generator outside, far away from any windows or doors, so the fumes can't get inside. Make sure you're using heavy-duty, outdoor-rated extension cords, and keep the whole setup out of the rain.
Okay, so let's bring it all home. When you boil it all down, this isn't really about pumps and power. It's about being proactive. It's about being prepared for what we all know is eventually going to happen.
And this really is the bottom line. Taking a little bit of time now to figure out your risk and get a backup strategy in place, well, that's what turns a potential catastrophe into just a manageable inconvenience. A power outage does not have to equal a flooded basement.
So I'm just going to leave you with this thought. Your home's entire defense against groundwater is only as strong as its backup plan.
So now that you know the risks and you know the solutions, the only real question left is, what's yours?